Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Market Wrap. So I am back in Philly. I finally made it home to Connecticut for the weekend and it was awesome. We had a great time celebrating Mitchell's 21st birthday with friends and family. And then we got to celebrate again on Monday night back in Philly with his Watchbox family. So 3 watches I love this week, and many people may not be aware, but my favorite complication is a chronograph. And this week, I was able to buy some very cool watches through all 3 different chronographs. So the first piece we're going to talk about is the Lange Datograph. And now this is the Platinum Up-Down. It's the 2nd generation of this groundbreaking chronograph. And we are starting to see less and less of these come through. People seem to be collecting them, holding on to them. It's just an awesome piece. I love the size. I love that black dial. Love seeing it back in the collection. Now, the second piece we're going to talk about is a Patek Philippe. And this one is the 5170G. Now this is a classic 2-register chronograph, which is a super iconic Patek complication. And this version is my absolute favorite variation. It's the white gold, it's the black dial, the Arabic numbers, but it's also got a Tiffany stamp on the dial. So it's super rare to see it with a Tiffany stamp. It's the best combination of the 5170. It's no longer made. I think this is a piece you've got to buy, put away for sure. Long term, it's going to be an amazing value. And the last piece we're going to talk about is a Rolex. And now everybody knows Rolex chronographs. The Daytona is probably the most famous chronograph in the world. But this one is a very special one. It's got baguette diamonds and rubies. Now, Daytonas with stones have been escalating over the past few years. And the ruby version is one we almost never see. I love having this in the collection. It's beautiful condition. It's got an amazing pave dial, something you just don't get to see a lot of. So the market continues to be strong, and it might sound like a broken record. We always talk about the market's going up, there's interesting results going on, but this week we really had an interesting result at the Antiquorum sale in Monaco. So summertime is usually a quiet time in the market, but there was a very big piece anticipated by almost everyone, and it's the new 5711 1A green dial. Now, Patek released this earlier in the year. This is the first one that had hit the market. Now, it's very interesting on a number of levels. First of all, the speed to which the watch came from a retailer and got into an auction, very quick. Obviously, I'm sure Patek was not terribly happy about that. The piece was sealed. It's one of the most recognizable watches in the market. Now, regular 5711s have taken off once they discontinued it. We regularly see them trading just over 100 grand, and they're always actively trading. So everybody kind of had their eye on this watch to see where the market would land. I expected we would hit maybe 250, 300. After all was said and done, it hit 490,000 all in. Now, it also causes quite a disruption in the market, and it makes the watch almost unwearable and difficult to trade. Do you really want to wear a watch that retails for 35,000 and maybe worth 500,000? If you did have one, do you not want to take the 500,000 and run? It's really a complicated situation. It's something that I actually don't think is great for the market. So it makes it so the disconnect between what a bid and ask on this watch is crazy. Nobody's going to really know where to offer them now. This is set a high bar, and we're really going to have to see if they will trade or if people are just going to sit on them for a while and see what's going to happen to this level. So it's a super speculative result. I don't think it's terribly healthy for the market, for collectors, and for traders alike. So our last section we're going to talk about is what we call Manjo's Value Plays, or our MVP watches. Now, this is a market that's really been going up and up and up. But I always say there are still opportunities and some great pieces. And since we've been talking about chronographs today, I happen to focus all on chronographs. And the first piece we're going to talk about is an Omega Speedmaster. Now, this is the reduced. It's the 351090. It's a beautiful 39 millimeter chronograph, has an amazing blue dial. I think this is just a classic watch. And at $34.50, just a great value in today's world. The second piece is an IWC. Now, I always think about IWC as chronographs. The Pilot chronograph, one of my favorites. Everybody knows I love blue, this blue dial. The Petite Prince edition, an amazing watch. Again, at $52.50, just a great value. The last piece we're going to talk about is a Panerai. Now, this is an older version, PAM 215. So this is a 40 millimeter, 2-register chronograph. Most people don't think of Panerai as making chronographs, but they've always made them through the years. Now, this is one of their early 40 millimeters using a modified Lemania chronograph movement. I love this piece. I think at $89.50, it's an exceptional value. So that was this week's Market Wrap. Hope to see you again next week.